The next system is female reproductive system. Normally it deals male reproductive system and the parts of male reproductive system and accessory duct and accessory gland. Now the female reproductive system. Female normally contain a pair of ovaries. The two ovary are present and the oviduct also present. Two oviduct and the uterus and the cervix and vagina and the external genitalia organs are present. In female also present in the pelvic region of the human female. These parts are along with the mammary glands. Actually the pair of ovary, oviduct, or vagina and external genitalia as a main female reproductive system, and the mammary glands is actually additional integrated structurally and functionally to support the forms of process of ovulation and fertilization and pregnancy and the birth and child care. Okay, the female reproductive system, these are all organs are present in the female reproductive system. The ovary is the main, the main primary female sex organ and produce ovum, that is female gamete, and several steroidal hormones also present, that is ovarian hormone like estrogen, progesterone. Some hormones are produced, and each ovary is lobed both sides of the vertebral column, the lower abdomen, and each ovary is 2 to 4 centimeters in length, and it's connected to the pelvic wall region of the uterus and the uterus by ligament. Okay, then two ovary are present, and uterus also present, and uterus just attached to the pelvic wall by the ligament. Ligament is nothing but, you already learned in 11th standard, it's a type of connective tissue which connects the here uterus to the pelvic wall. And each ovary contain stroma. Inside the ovary and stroma are present. In stroma divided into two zones. Actually ovary divided into two zones, and the peripheral region is known as cortex. Peripheral means outer side of the ovary, and the inner side of the ovary as is known as medulla. Normally cortex and medulla is the two region present in the ovary. In female, the process of producing of ovum, the process is oogenesis, is occurs after the process of production of ovum occurs after the puberty, but the follicle development before the birth. The female child before birth are present inside the mother uterus itself. The embryonic ovary of a female start developing the ovum, that is primary, and secondary after puberty only the matured ovum is released from the ovary. The process is ovulation. This actually listen the drawing. The drawing explains the female diagrammatic sectional view of a female pelvis region, which shows the female organs and the external genital organs. That is uterus. There is in the diagram uterus, which is useful for the developing child, are normally known as fetus, and the urinary bladder stores the urine, and the pubic symphysis is a type of muscles, and urethra, and then clitoris, and the labium majora, labium minora, and the vaginal office. These are all external genital organs. External genital organ. Listen the diagram. And the sperm movement and the urinary tract, that is urethra, is different in female. In male, urethra only delivers the sperm as well as the female as well as the urine, but in female the entry of sperm is through the vagina and the cervix, and urinary bladder and the urethra is different pathway, and the anus in the right side, anus and the large intestine, actually in the brown color in the right side is nothing but is a large intestine. This is a basic structure of human female reproductive system. Normally the oviduct, I will listen the diagram, then I explain one by one. This is structural diagrammatic view of female reproductive system. It consists of listen the diagram: ovary in the right side, infundibulum, then fimbriae. Listen the diagram now clearly seen, and then first the from the lower part is vagina. Through the vagina only the sperms are entered, and the cervical canal. Cervical canal is nothing but this is a canal tube. The sperm and the male gamete is entered through the cervical canal only, and after development during parturition process, the delivery of the movement of the fetus to the outside also through the cervical canal. And the ovary, two ovary are present and in pink color, and after the ovary the tubes, the finger like structure is fimbriae. Fimbriae is nothing but this finger like structure of which receives the ovum. Ovary after ovulation process produce ovum, and ovary and the ovum first received by the fimbriae, then the ovum enter into the infundibulum, this is a funnel shaped structure, then the ambula, and then isthmus. So three layers is normally collectively known as fallopian tube or oviduct. In your 10th standard, oviduct only you studied. In oviduct, here it divided into infundibulum, ambula, and isthmus. So which part of the oviduct which receives the ovum? Fimbriae. And after enter into the infundibulum, ovum enter into the dash part? Ambula. After ambula, the ovum enter into the isthmus. Actually here only fertilization takes place, where the ambulary isthmic junction. Normally oviduct only the fertilization place, the ovum and the sperm is fertilized, joined together to form a zygote. The exact place means ambulary isthmic junction between ambula and isthmus. The junction is known as ambulary isthmic junction. In exactly ambulary isthmic junction only the fertilization takes place. Fertilization, you know, the fusion of male and female gamete. Then the uterine fundus, listen the drawing, uterine fundus and the uterine cavity. Inside the uterine cavity only the child is developed. Is actually this structure is internal structure of the female reproductive system inside the abdominal region. And then endometrium also present, endometrium, myometrium, and the perimetrium. These are all nothing but the layers in the uterus. Uterine wall is divided into inner endometrium, middle myometrium, outer perimetrium. From the outer means outer wall of the uterus is perimetrium, then middle layer of the uterus is myometrium, and inner layer is endometrium. In endometrium only during development, during menstrual cycle is corrode and is it corrode and delivered and discharged into the vagina, that is menstruation. In next topic we deal one by one. Okay, the female reproductive system consists of various parts. In last class I explained one by one. Now that is ambula and isthmus is actually a tube which carries the ovum to the uterus, and the uterus is single, only one uterus are present, is otherwise known as womb. The shape of the uterus is inverted pear shaped and is supported by the ligament attached to the pelvic wall. Ligament already you studied. And the uterus opened into the vagina and the narrow cervix. And the cervix is actually a cervical canal which is along with the form of birth canal. During delivery to the cervix, through the cervical canal only the child is delivered. And the three layers of the uterus already you studied: perimetrium, myometrium, and then endometrium. Endometrium only undergoes cyclic changes during menstrual cycle. Myometrium is exhibit a strong contraction to the delivery. During delivery, myometrium is involved to the contraction, and due to contraction only the child is delivered. So three layers in the uterus: endometrium, myometrium, perimetrium. Perimetrium is external, myometrium is middle layer, and the endometrium is inner layer of the uterus. These are all internal organs of the female reproductive system, and some external organs also present, that is female external genitalia organs, that is mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, hymen, and clitoris. These are all the external structure of a female reproductive system. It is useful for the entry of sperm, and it is mons pubis is a cushion shaped fatty tissues covered by the skin of a pubic hair. These are external genital structure. Labia majora is a fleshy fold of tissues, and mons pubis vaginal opening. Labia minora present inside the labia majora, and then vaginal part is covered by a membrane called hymen. The hymen is a membrane which covers the vagina, and the clitoris has a tiny finger-like structures, which is lies in the upper junction of the labia majora and the labia minora. It is useful for the entry of sperm into the female genital tract. And clitoris is the upper junction of the majora, labia minora. Normally, external genital organ is mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, hymen, and the clitoris. These are all external genital organs. And the next one is hymen. Hymen is often torn during the first coitus, that is intercourse. First coitus, hymen is torn. However, it also broken by sudden fall or jolt in cessation of vaginal tampon. Active participation in some sports like horseback riding, cycling. In some women, hymen is persistent even after the coitus. In fact, the presence of absence of hymen is not a reliable indicator of virginity or the sexual experience. Okay, the hymen is a membrane which covers the female vaginal area, which is often torn by the some sports activities. So the presence and absence of hymen is not a reliable indicator for the virginity and the sexual experience. Okay, these are all the major parts in the female reproductive system. Various parts are present. In various parts, like internal organs also present, and the external organs also present, and external genitalia organ also present. From these organs, some other important organ like mammary glands is useful for the child health care, as well as interdigitally mixed with the female reproductive system and the child health care. The functional mammary gland is a characteristic of female mammals. The mammary glands has a pad structure. Its breast is contain the glandular tissues, a variable amount of fat. The glandular tissue is divided into 15 to 20 mammary lobules, which is forms a cluster of cells called alveoli. This alveoli is not related with the lungs alveoli, it's actually different alveoli. Alveoli only secretes a milk after the parturition. Parturition is nothing but delivery. After the delivery of a fetus or the child, the alveoli starts secreting the milk stored in the cavity of lumen, and the alveoli opened into the mammary tubules, and it is joined to the mammary duct, and several mammary duct is joined to the vital mammary ambula and connected to the lactiferous duct, which is the milk is sucked out. Okay, these all the events occurs after the parturition due to the hormonal reactions. The events are the production of milk. All the process are taking place after the parturition. Okay, these are all the various structures in the male reproductive system and the female reproductive system. Then we move on to the gametogenesis. Gametogenesis is, the formation of gametes. The formation of male gamete is yes, spermatogenesis, formation of sperm, and the formation of female gamete is oogenesis, that is formation of ovum. The gametogenesis is nothing but the formation of gametes, and the oogenesis and spermatogenesis is divided into two types. Spermatogenesis is nothing but formation of sperm, and the oogenesis is nothing but formation of ovum. The main primary sex organ in male is testis and the ovary, producing the gamete and immature germ cells. First we deal the male gametogenesis, the spermatogenesis in the male in the puberty, and the oogenesis, the process of development of ovum before puberty, alter before the birth of the female child. Okay, the first is formation of gamete, male gamete, that is spermatogenesis, and the second one is formation of ovum, and the next segment is oogenesis. The first we deal spermatogenesis. What is meant by spermatogenesis? How sperms are formed in the testis. Okay, normally sperm, as otherwise known as spermatozoon, is produced into the seminiferous tubules. Okay, and the seminiferous tubules which contain various cells. First, the primary spermatocytes. The main cell is spermatogonium. The spermatogonium only the cells are present inside the testis, which is useful for the formation of sperm, that is spermatozoon. First, the spermatogonium is actually a 2n in number. 2n means diploid, human contain 46 chromosome, and spermatogonium contain 46 chromosome. And after mitosis division, it produces spermatocytes, that is primary spermatocytes. All the primary spermatocytes which contain 46 chromosome. Upper spermatogonium also 46, primary spermatocytes also 46. After primary spermatocytes is follows meiosis division. Spermatogonia follow mitosis division, and primary spermatocytes follow meiosis division. Listen the diagram. The first part is below. Listen the diagram. The last layer, the below layer, is known as spermatogonium. Actually, spermatogonium is 2n diploid in state, that is contain 46 chromosome. After mitosis division, listen, mitosis division, and the spermatogonium contain 46 chromosome. After mitosis division, it produce primary spermatocytes. Listen the diagram. Primary spermatocytes, and primary spermatocytes also 2n in number, because the primary spermatocytes after mitosis division only it produced. Primary spermatocytes also 46 chromosome, 2n in number. Then the primary spermatocytes after meiosis division, here meiosis division occurs. Then primary spermatocytes after meiosis division, it produce secondary spermatocytes. Here secondary spermatocytes is n haploid number, which contain 23 chromosome. Then secondary spermatocytes is developed into spermatid. Spermatid gets nutrition from the Sertoli cells. Already you have learned Sertoli cells present in the seminiferous tubules, which provide nutrition to the developing sperm. Here spermatid get attached to the Sertoli cells and get nutrition from the Sertoli cells, start develop into spermatozoon. The developmental stages is first spermatogonium undergo mitosis, produce primary spermatocytes. Primary spermatocytes undergo meiosis, produce secondary spermatocytes. Secondary spermatocytes after development develop into spermatid. Spermatid get nutrition from the Sertoli cells, and spermatid develop into spermatozoon. Spermatozoon is nothing but sperm. These are all technical names. First spermatogonium, then primary spermatocytes, then secondary spermatocytes, then spermatid, then spermatozoon. Here Sertoli cells provide nutrition to the developing spermatid. Okay, these are all the events. I asked some questions in this topic. What is this ploidy of spermatogonium diploid 2n? How many chromosomes are present in the spermatogonium? 46. How many chromosomes are present in this primary spermatocytes? 46. Primary spermatocytes undergo dash type of division? Meiosis. Spermatid contain how many chromosomes? 23. Spermatid get nutrition from where? Sertoli cells. After development, Sertoli cells develop into dash, not develop into other structures. Sertoli cells only provide nutrition. Spermatid after development develop into dash, spermatozoon. Okay, a spermatozoon only is known as sperm. So after these type of mitosis and meiosis division, sperms are developed inside the seminiferous tubules. This drawing as a part of seminiferous tubules expanded view. Okay. Next we deal what are all the hormones are involved in the formation of gametes. Normally you know in 11th standard you studied various type of hormones like hypothalamus produce GnRH, gonadotrophin releasing hormone. It is actually produced by the hypothalamus, which act as a anterior pituitary gland, which stimulates the two gonadotrophin hormone, that is LH and FSH, luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone. LH and FSH are produced in the pituitary, produced in both the male as well as in female. LH is a luteinizing hormone and FSH is follicle stimulating hormone. In male, the LH act as a Leydig cells. You know the Leydig cells which produce hormone, which stimulates the synthesis of secretion of androgen, and androgen in turn is process of spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is nothing but the formation of male gamete, that is sperm. And FSH is another hormone produced by the pituitary, which act on the serotolin cells. Serotolin cells which important for the production of some substance which is providing nutrition to the developing spermatid. Okay, hormone are produced in the hypothalamus region, that is GnRH, gonadotrophin releasing hormone, which induce the pituitary and produce two hormones, LH and FSH. LH is luteinizing hormone, FSH is follicle stimulating hormone. LH, which is useful for the development of sperm and the hormone produced, and FSH is follicle stimulating hormone, which is useful for the providing nutrition to the sperm. Okay, and spermiogenesis, spermatogenesis, spermiogenesis, spermiation. Three terms are present. Spermatogenesis is nothing but overall event from the spermatogonium to spermatozoon. All the events, the developmental events, all the developmental events are collectively known as spermatogenesis. And the formation of spermatozoon from the spermatid, the particular event, the spermatid develop into spermatozoon, the particular event is known as spermiogenesis. And after the spermiogenesis, the developed spermatozoon are released in the outside, in this from the seminiferous tubule to the outside. The process is spermiation. Spermatogenesis is overall event, and spermiogenesis from spermatid to spermatozoon, and spermiation is nothing but all the delivery of sperm from the seminiferous tubules. So from the seminiferous tubules, the sperms are delivered. Listen the drawing of the sperm. Normally sperm contain various structures and events. Sperm normally contain a structure. Listen the drawing. Sperm contain the neck region, Papa. Now the structure of sperm. The sperm is actually a small structure. This is 40 mm in size, produced in millions. In each ejaculation, the human male produce approximately over 300 million sperms are produced. And the sperm structure is an important diagram, is in board examination. Plasma membrane also present, is actually a cell. Plasma membrane is outer covering, and agrosome also present, the first part of the Sperm is agrosome, which contains some enzyme, that is hyaluronidase, which is useful for the penetrating the ovum during fertilization. And the second is nucleus containing region. It is a chromosomal material are present. Only 23 chromosomes are present. Normally, you know, the sperm is a gamete which contain only haploid number of chromosome 23, and the neck region and the middle piece contains some mitochondria providing energy, because sperm from the seminiferous tubules to vagina, and fertilization takes place in the ambulary isthmic region of the female oviduct. From the region the sperm move. For the movement, sperm need energy. The energy is provided by the mitochondria, and the tail also present. The head region, neck region, and the tail region. Mainly the agrosome is important because it's only contains some enzymes which is important for the penetrating the ovum during fertilization. Okay, the structure of sperm is an important drawing in your 12th standard board examination. Practice the drawing also. Is an important drawing. And normally human male producing the varied sperms. For normal fertilization, the human ejaculate 200 to 300 million sperms for the ejaculation during coitus. In the sperm release, 60% of the sperm must have normal shape and size. So then only the fertilization takes place. Normally human produce 200 to 300 million sperms per ejaculation. In the 200 to 300 million sperms, at least 60% of the sperm must have normal shape and size. Then only the fertilization occurs. In the 60%, at least 40% of the sperm has so vigorous motility. Then only the sperm fertilized with the ovum. Otherwise the fertilization is not takes place. Human male producing the 200 to 300 million sperms, but in 60% of the sperms have a normal shape and size, and 40% of the sperm has vigorous motility. Then only the sperm fertilize the ovum. Okay, next one is the events or the pathway the sperm is moved. The sperms released in the seminiferous tubules and transported to the accessory duct like epidermis, vas deferens, and seminal vesicle, prostate glands. It is actually a gland which providing some fluid, which secreting some fluid which is useful for the development of sperm. It is normally collectively known as semen. Semen is nothing but seminal plasma along with the sperm. Is collectively known as semen, which is the important for the which is useful for the developing a sperm as well as for the fertilization. And the male accessory duct and gland, the testicular hormones which control the accessory gland procedures. Okay, this is actually a male reproductive structure and the formation of male gamete from the testis, that is spermatogenesis. Okay.